fourth regular session of the 22nd Congress will now come to order. Let's bow our heads for a moment of silent prayer. Roll call, Chief Clerk.
Senator Aridas,
Yes.
Senator Christian, Senator Figuer,
Yes.
Senator Golan,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Conman.
Ay, Nasaranim.
Thank you, Nasaranim. Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Net, Senator Palak,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romalo,
Hey, man.
Senator Rosamal,
Absent.
Senator Wali,
Yes.
Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, all 14 members are present.
We have a full house. We can transact business. Floor Leader Harbor, reading of the journal.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Again, my greetings of the day to you and all honorable members, staff, and everyone who's observing our session by whatever means. I again move to dispense with the reading of the journal.
Again.
Any second? It's been moved and seconded that we dispense with the reading of the journal. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. We now dispense with the reading of the journal. Next item, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item is presidential communications for item number 5. We have one and it's number 22-246.
Oh, there you go, Chairman Figuer. Assign that, Chief Clerk, short recess. Congress back in session. Okay, next item, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item is item number 6, some Supreme Court communications. As of now, we do not have any.
Next item.
Item number 7, member communications, none also, Mr. Speaker.
Next.
The next item is item number 8, departmental communications. We have one and it's number 22-32.
Okay, assign that, Chief Clerk.
Speaker, Speaker,
Yes,
point of
Go ahead.
privilege, Mr. Speaker.
state your point, Vice Chairman.
Yes, thank you very
Go ahead.
much. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, distinguished and honorable colleagues and members of Congress. Mr. Speaker, I rise on a point of privilege to make a few comments and observations regarding the Compact Trust Fund FY 2021 annual report as transmitted to Congress today under Department Communication 22-32. Mr. Speaker, FY 2021 was the best year for the fund since its inception in 2004. In a report, we see a 22.7% annual return on investment. That's net of fees. That's fees, expenses deducted. And that's compared to 8.4% in the previous year, 2020. And when compared this performance in this year to the benchmark, the total benchmark, which is 23.8%, we're very close. So that's very good performance, remarkable. Also, Mr. Speaker, the fund assets stood at 999,763,601 at the end of fiscal year 2021, very close to the 1 billion target level. However, I think unofficial and unaudited results show the fund is currently, I understand by March, it has exceeded $1 billion. That's the fund asset. And I understand reading the report, the administrative and investment expenses, which are very critical, were slightly higher compared to the previous year, but were reasonable and justified expenses. Regardless of this historical and best 10-year performance, Mr. Speaker and honorable members, two very important footnotes that I would like to highlight regarding the trust fund. First is that the total asset is still way below our target. If you recall, some models were conducted earlier on and stated that the fund assets should be at around 1.6 billion by end of fiscal year 2023 to be able to generate a revenue that would be sufficient to take care of our budgetary needs. We're far from that. Again, we're at 1 billion. We wish and we were really hoping we could be somewhere around 1.6 billion. Secondly, the annual average return on investment could be better. If you look at the performance of the fund since 2004, which is the inception, average annual return up to the fiscal year 2021 is 6.6%. Some of us will recall that the models and projections at the beginning estimated that this fund will return between 13 and 15%. That's how relevant and important that return is. When I had the honor to represent FSM on the trust fund committee, I believe in 2009, when I joined the trust fund committee, the return since inception was 2.7%. 2.7%. That's the annual average return up to that time. When I left a few years ago, that average return increased to 5.7%. And now at fiscal year 2021, it's at 6.6%. That's a very positive, remarkable trend. But the question is, with that return and the earnings, the major question, significant question is whether or not the trust fund is at a position where we can draw income to cover cost of operation of our government. The answer is pretty obvious. We are far from there, and we have quite a long way to go. In summary, Mr. Speaker, fiscal year 2021 was a very good year, best years thus far. I recall that fiscal year 2007 was the highest return at that time, 17%. So this is significant historical, and I want to just highlight that and take this opportunity to congratulate the Trust Fund Committee and the staff for a job well done. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Palik. Yes, we can thank them, but it's the working of the investment world that brought it where we are at this point. So should thank the market for where we are. Okay.
Mr. Speaker.
Any other point of privilege? Yes, state your point, Vice Chairman. Richard.
I just want to thank Aaron for his comments. We will never, ever catch up, reach that accomplishment point, because while the increases in our investment returns have come in the from 2 point something to 5 something to this very last increase, our cost of government operation has risen at a speed that far outreaches what the investment return will accomplish for us. We buy expensive vehicles that use a lot of fuel, and I see there seems to be a competition among the departments, which department will have the largest fleet and the largest vehicles. That's just a small example of why the investment returns are meaningless unless we slow down the cost of operation of government. Unless we do that, the investment return we would consider an accomplishment will never be reached. Iwa, it is so jabur, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you, Vice Chairman Christian, for your
Sure.
comment. Yes, you have a point, White?
No, I don't have a point. I want to put my, I want to piggyback right on the comments made by my good friend and host when I'm in Pohnpei, Vice Chairman Christian. I really like what he said. We should not only, and I know it may be not good for me to say this, especially with the works of the JCRP, but we should not only depend on this thing, on the trust fund. We should also look for ways and means to contain costs of these governments, the 5 governments, plus ways to raise revenue for our government's operation. You know, I'm a firm believer, Mr. Speaker, in that saying, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do to help your country. And I'm very much in support of that. And the comments made by the good Vice Chairman on 2 or 3 committees. And that is so.
Thank you. Don't get carried away. We do have ways to tackle those. I understand. I'm just grateful for Vice Chairman Palik for raising the trend for our Compact Trust Fund. Though it's going, we should be grateful that it is at this point it has somewhat met the original, aspiration of our trust fund, that is to reach 6-point-some%. And I guess this is probably the first time that has happened. So I hope it will continue in the next several years. But knowing that the investment world, we know everything is just, that it fluctuates. Okay, any other point of privilege before we continue? If none, Chief Clerk, next item.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next item now is item number 9, agency or governmental authority communications. As of now, we do not have any, Mr. Speaker.
Continue.
Item number 10, state communications, none also, Mr. Speaker. Item number 11, state Supreme Court communications, none. Item number 12, municipal or town communications, none, Mr. Speaker. Item number 13, foreign government communications, none also. And item number 14, miscellaneous communications, none, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, we're now on our order of the day. Item 15, standing committee reports. Do we have any, Chief Clerk?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, for item number 15, standing committee reports, we have an awaiting list number 22-19 for standing committee reports awaiting the 24 hours requirement.
Okay, members, read that report. It's an important one for our COICO branch of government. Okay, next item. Special committee reports, do we have that?
As of now, none, Mr. Speaker.
Next item.
For item number 17, assignment of measures and communications, kindly refer to referral sheet number 22-65.
Okay, Chairman and members of the respective committees, review that for your planning purposes. Next item.
Unfinished business for item number 18, none at the moment, Mr. Speaker.
Item 19, bill calendar, first bill, Chief Clerk.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The first bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-167 for second and final reading. CB number 22-167 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 21-201 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-219, 21-223, 21-229, 21-241, 22-14, 22-28, 22-31, 22-51, 22-67, and 22-97 by amending Section 2 thereof for the purpose of changing the use of funds previously appropriated therein to fund priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs for the people of Yap State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figure.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
And a second, it has been moved and seconded that Congress pass CB number 22-167 on second and final reading. Discussion, Chairman Ursula.
Sure. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I do believe I have amendments to offer on the bill, and they have been written up, duplicated, printed and duplicated, and distributed to all members in your computers. So I move for the adoption of the said proposed
Second.
amendments.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the offer for amendment to CB 22-167 offered by Chairman Ursula be adopted. We will have it read into the record because it's short, but Floor Leader.
Again, Mr. Speaker, I move to this suspend an irrelevant rule that may impede our action on the amendment made by Honorable Ursula.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules prohibiting substantive amendments on second and final reading, be suspended. Those in favor of that motion, say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The relevant rules are now suspended.
So recess.
Clerk, recess to call the chair. Come for this banking session, Chief Clerk. It's a short one. Read it into the record.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. We have a floor amendment to CB number 22-167 offered by Senator Joseph J. Urusamal. Item 1, page 1, line 11, delete the following. YAP Congressional Delegation Land Acquisition and Construction, 205,000, and insert the following. Talibabinao Municipality Secondary Roads Improvement Projects, Phase 1, 125,000, in lieu thereof. Item number 2, page 1, line 14, delete the figure 50,000 and insert the figure 115,000 in lieu thereof. Item number 3, page 2, between lines 11 and 12, insert the following. Subsection K, Yap Chukis Association Flatbed Truck, 7,500. Subsection L, Ivaluk Women Association on Yap Food Security Project, purchase of flatbed truck and agricultural tools, 7,500.
Okay, move for adoption, Chairman Usman.
So move, Mr. Speaker.
It's a second. It has been
Mr.
moved-
Speaker,
That's been
Mr.
moved.
Speaker.
That the offered for amendment by Chairman Rusmal be adopted. It has been read in the record. The discussion, Vice Chairman Christian.
yes, I'd like to amend the floor amendment to include the word island after the name YAP on the last portion of the amendment offered by Senator Rusamal, so that it would read Yap Island.
Chaudhry, just The offered amendment by, oral amendment by Vice Chairman Christian will be treated as technical. Staff, take note of that so we can make the correction. Okay, we're still discussing the offered floor amendment. Chairman Ursimo.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Item 2 of the amendments as written should be changed to 110, delete 115,000 and insert in lieu thereof 110,000. Line L, delete 7,500 and insert in lieu thereof 12,500. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Okay, and second, it has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment by Chairman Ursimo to the proposed floor amendment be adopted. Discussion on the offered oral amendments. Any discussion? If none, if there's no objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendment to the proposed floor amendment, say aye.
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 Nay. Motion carried. The offered oral amendments to the proposed floor amendment is adopted. Any further discussion on the offered floor amendment as orally amended? Any discussion? If none, there's no objection. Debate is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offer for amendment to CP 22-167 as already amended once, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered for amendment as already amended is adopted. We now have CT 1. Any discussion on
Question.
CT 1?
Question, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, question has been called for. Without objection, debate is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Arados.
Yes.
Thank you. For the state of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Koshai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Uruzmal.
Amen.
Thank you. Mr. Speaker, we have four affirmative votes for the said bill under second and final reading.
CP number 22-167 CD1 has passed conference on second and final reading. Next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-169 for second and final reading. CV number 22-169 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 22-48 as amended by Public Laws numbers 22-52 and 22-65 by amending Section 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding public projects and social programs in the state of Chuk and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa.
Thank you, Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
It has been moved, seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 22-169. Discussion.
Mr. Speaker,
Who's that? Yes, Vice Speaker Moses.
yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, floor members, and all those that are. I consulted with the proponent of the bill, and I received an email this morning because I was looking for a specific item to amend as per the new needs of the people that it will serve. And it's actually in this bill. And I asked them if we could do it tomorrow on second reading. So I so move, Mr. Speaker.
Any second? That's been moved
Second.
and that CP number 22-169 be deferred to tomorrow's session. Those in favor say aye.
Oh,
Opposed, nay. Motion carried. CP number 22-169 is deferred to tomorrow's session. Okay, next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-172 for second and final reading. CB number 22-172 is a bill for an act to further amend sections 1, 2, and 3 of Public Law number 22-42 as amended by Public Laws numbers 22-60 and 22-80 to appropriate $1 million from the general fund of the Federated States of Micronesia for the fiscal year ending September 30th, 2022, to provide supplemental funding for the operations of the executive branch and the legislative branch of the national government of the Federated States of Micronesia and for other purposes.
Second.
Here,
Move for the passage of the bill on second and final reading.
okay. That's been moved and seconded that Congress pass on second and final reading, CP number 22-172. Discussion, Chairman Permit,
Yeah, short recess.
short recess, call of the chair. we're in discussion of the CP 22. Chairman Berman.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Good morning to you, members, and all of those that are observing our session this morning. Speaker, I do have a floor amendment to the said bill, 22-172, quite lengthy, so I ask we disperse the reading. And I so move for its adoption.
Has been moved and seconded that the offered for amendment to CP 22-172 offered by Chairman Berman be adopted because of its length. We will dispense with its reading, and the relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offered floor amendment.
Short recess, please.
Floor recess, subject to call of the chair.
Can we also,
We're discussing the offered for amendment by Chairman Berman. Any further discussion on it? If not,
question?
there's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered floor amendment by Chairman Berman, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendment by Chairman Berman is adopted. We have CT1. Any further discussion on CT1? Short recess. So Commissioners, back in session. We're still discussing the CP 22-172 CT1. Chairman Romolo.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to offer a floor amendment to the said bill. I believe the copy of the amendment has been circulated, so I'll move for its adoption.
Again,
It's been moved and seconded that CP number, the offer for amendment by Chairman Romolo to CP 22-172 CT1 be adopted. Because of its length, we will dispense with its reading. The relevant rules are still suspended up to this point. So discussion on the offered for amendment.
so Speaker,
Yes,
Speaker.
Malik?
yes, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's taking long for me to download and read this. Chairman Romulo, changing from Wadalati to what? Who is, who are you changing? From to who?
Chairman Romolo?
President, from President to Speaker.
Okay, thank you.
Any other discussion on the offered for amendment? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. We will vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered for amendment by Chairman Romulo, say aye.
Aye.
Nay. Motion carried. The offered for amendment is adopted. We now have CT2. Any further discussion on CT2? Chairman Herbert?
Yes, short recess, Speaker.
Short recess. Without objection. Congress is back in session. We're still discussing CP number 22-172 CT2. Chairman Permit, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I do have an oral amendment to hover on the said bill. Under Section 8, Department of Justice, subsection F, delete 550,000 and insert 500,000 in lieu thereof. Section 12, other grants subsidies, subsection T, delete insurance fuel for $200,000 and insert insurance fuel and personnel $250,000 in lieu thereof. I so move, Mr. Speaker.
And second, has been moved and seconded that the offered oral amendment to CT2 be adopted. The relevant rules are still suspended at this point. So discussion on the offered oral amendment. Any discussion?
Question.
There's no objection. Discussion is closed. Let's vote. Those in favor of the adoption of the offered oral amendment, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. The offered oral amendment is adopted. We now have CT3. Any further discussion on CT3? Discussion? If none, without
Question.
objection, debate is closed. We will vote by roll call of the delegations. Chief Clerk.
For the state of Chuk, Chairman Aritos.
Yes.
State of Pohnpei, Chairman Perman. State of Kasai, Chairman Wali.
Yes.
State of Yap, Chairman Rusumal.
I yield the floor to the chairman of Ways and Means Committee.
No.
Chairman Figure.
I said no.
Mr. Speaker, we have 3 affirmative votes and 1 state against.
Okay, in spite of Yap's no vote, there are 3 who voted yes. So CP number 22-172 CD3 has passed Congress on second and final reading. Next bill.
Mr. Speaker, as of now, we do not have any more bills.
Speaker,
Yes, no more bills. Floor Leader Arbor.
yeah, thank you, Speaker. I have a bill that I want to withdraw for action on first reading.
Chief.
Speaker, may I ask that we go to short recess so we can write down all the bills that need to be withdrawn and put it? Yeah, so.
Still on the bill calendar, Floor Leader Arbor.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield the floor to Chairman Perman.
Chairman Perman.
Yeah, thank you, Speaker. I would like to withdraw the following bills and place it on our bill calendar for today. CB number 22-174, 22-175, 22-177, 22-178, 22-179, 22-180, 22-181, 22-182, 22-183, 22-184. I so move.
Second.
Second.
That's been moved and seconded that all those bills so enumerated by Chairman Perman be withdrawn from committees and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. The Florida Harbor, motion to suspend rule.
Well, I presume they're all still suspended.
That's the rule on bills to be in committee for a certain period of time. I don't think we've,
Okay, Speaker, I so move.
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that the relevant rules, specifically the rules requiring a certain period of time for a bill to be in committee before withdrawal be suspended. Those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carried. The relevant rules are suspended. So let's vote on the main motion. Those in favor of the motion to withdraw from committees and place on the bill calendar all those bills so enumerated, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Aye.
nay. Motion carried. Those bills are now withdrawn from committees and placed on the bill calendar for first reading action. Short recess, subject to call the chair. conference is back in session. We have all those bills which have been withdrawn from committees and placed on the bill calendar for action, first reading action. Chief Clerk, first bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-174 for first reading. CB number 22-174 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 21-80 as amended by Public Laws numbers 21-99, 21-110, 21-143, 21-181, 21-188, 21-214, 21-242, 22-19, 22-38, 22-56 and 22-99 by amending sections 4 and 6 thereof to change the use, allotee, and lapse date of certain funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs for the people of Pohnpei State and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa. Chairman Figueroa. Chairman Berman.
Thank you. I so move for passage on first reading.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that Congress pass on first reading CP number 22-174. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, without objection, discussion is closed. Let's vote.
Mr. Speaker,
Who's that? Who's that?
okay, I'll do it on second reading. Sorry.
Okay, so let's vote. Roll call. Chief Clerk, first reading.
Senator Aritos. Senator Christian. Senator Figueroa. Senator Figueroa.
In the restroom.
Senator Golan.
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper. Senator Conman.
Yes.
Vice Speaker Moses. Senator Net. Senator Paluk.
Yes.
Senator Berman. Senator Romalo.
Aye.
Senator Urusamal. Senator Wali.
Yes.
Speaker Semina.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we have 12 affirmative votes to the said bill under first reading.
CP number 22-174 has passed Congress on first reading. Next bill.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The next bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-175 for first reading. CB number 22-175 is a bill for an act to amend Public Law number 22-86 as amended by Public Laws numbers 22-101 and 22-102 by amending sections 3 and 5 thereof to change the use of funds previously appropriated therein for the purpose of funding priority infrastructure projects and other public projects and social programs for the people of Koshai and Juk states and for other purposes.
Chairman Figueroa. Short recess. Back in session, Chairman Berman.
Yes, motion to pass first reading on the said bill.
Again.
Again.
Moved and seconded that Congress pass CP number 22-175 on first reading. Discussion. Any discussion? If none, there's an objection. Discussion is closed. We will vote by roll call of members on first reading. Chief Clerk.
Senator Aritos. Senator Christian. Senator Figueroa. Senator Golan.
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Gunman,
Yes.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Neth, Senator Pollack,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romulo,
Amen.
Senator Urusamal, Senator Wali,
Yes.
Speaker Simona.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we have 12 affirmative votes to the said bill under first reading.
CP number 22-175 has passed conference on first reading. Next bill.
The next bill under the bill calendar now is Congressional Bill number 22-177 for first reading. CB number 22-177 is a bill for an act to further amend Public Law number 19-54 as amended by Public Laws numbers 19-62, 19-75, 19-79, 19-99, 19-119, 20-04, 20-56, 20-82, 20-127, 21-20, 21-117, 21-169, 21-174, 21-194, 21-205, 21-233, 22-15, 22-54, and 22-85 by amending Section 6 thereof to change the lapse date of funds previously appropriated therein to fund public projects and social programs in each of the states and for other purposes.
Chairman Berman,
Short recess.
short recess, up to the chair. Chairman Berman,
Yeah, thank you very much. I move that we pass on the said bill on first reading.
second.
Second.
Third, moved and seconded that CP number 22-177 be passed on first reading. Discussion.
Question.
Question has been called for. There is an objection. Debate is closed. We will vote by roll call of members on first reading. Chief Clerk.
Senator Aridas, Senator Christian, Senator Figueroa, Senator Figueroa, Senator Golan,
Yes.
Floor Leader Harper, Senator Gunman,
Aye.
Vice Speaker Moses, Senator Ned, Senator Pollack,
Yes.
Senator Berman, Senator Romulo,
Amen.
Senator Urusamal,
Yes, ma'am.
Senator Wali,
Yes.
Speaker Simona.
Yes.
Mr. Speaker, we have 12 affirmative votes to the said bill under first reading.
CP number 22-177 has passed. Conference on first reading.
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, Vice Speaker Moses.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I move that we stand in recess until 10 a.m. Chuk time tomorrow.
Second.
Has been moved and seconded that Congress stand in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning Chuk time. Short recess up to the chair. Congress is back in session. There is that motion to stand in recess. Those in favor say aye.
All right.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Congress now stands in recess until tomorrow at 10 in the morning. Thank you.